Right, morning folks, here we are. Today's test ride, the Royal Enfield 450 Guerrilla. 452cc single, liquid cooled, I presume a 6-speed box. I'll go through all the specs a bit later. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of a replacement for the Scram, the 411 Scram, but it's classed as a roadster. Now I've ridden a 450 Himalayan, and to be honest I didn't think much of it, so I'm interested to see how this one goes. Let's get it fired up and find out, shall we? Let's have a look, see. It's quite a nice, sensible seat height. Get mirrors adjusted. Let's get on with it. There we are. We have a TFT dash, as you can see. Fuel gauge, rev counter, speedo, gear indicator, time, temperature, odometer, etc. Let's press some buttons and see what happens. No idea what that does. Well, this one. Aha! Right, rider mode, performance, ABS on. Now there are two rider modes on here, eco and performance. I don't think they make a great deal of difference to the bike itself, but they're there. We have usual start, kill switch, that's your menu I presume, hazard lights, headlight, which would be pass, dip beam, high beam, indicator, horn, and a button here for, aha! That gives you your trip meters, trip 2, fuel range, fuel consumption, voltage, which I like, service due, engine temperature. There we go. Interesting. Right, not sure how we clear that. Try that one. Aha! That's your mode button. That's your home button, as I'm guessing. Clutch is nice and light. Brake feels good. Back brake feels good. Got to set up the old cameras. Right, shall we go and see what it's like to ride? Let's put that one on as well. Yep, there we go. Right, let's go and see what this bike's like to ride. Feels quite pleasant so far. Very upright riding position, as you'd expect. Bars are nice and wide. Suspension, a little bit on the stiff side, but what you expect. It's new. So we can get this mirror to sit where I want it to sit. That'll do. Yeah, suspension's a little bit on the stiff side. We can live with that. Of course, it picks up well. Fair dues. Like the 450, it's quite revvy, which I'm not a big fan of. And to be honest, I was a little bit biased with the 450, having owned the 411 Himalayan. I wasn't a fan of it. It lost the original essence of the Himalayan. This is a totally different bike. This I'd say is more akin to the 350 Hunter, or HNTR to be technically accurate. 30 miles an hour, 3000 RPM in 4th. Bit high revving for my cup of tea, but there we go. Just my opinion. Which of course is what my reviews are all about. It's my views and opinions based on my test ride, which would be much the same as you would get if you took the bike out for a test ride. Can't get this bloody mirror to fit right. So normally I leave the higher speed bit till the end. Today I'm going to do it first. So I have a plan. Hey, we have a plan. God help us. See what it does on the motorway. Oh, it's actually a dual carriageway, but it's motorway speeds. Sixth gear, 50 mile an hour is 4,000 RPM. Unless this person puts their foot down, I am not going to be able to overtake. Yeah, it's a 70 mile an hour road, my lovely. If you're in lane 2, you need to put your foot down a bit. Not speed match a lorry. Okay, we're now at 60 miles an hour, 5,000 RPM. Fair bit of vibration through the bars and the foot pegs, but then, as I say, it is a big single. $70 miles an hour. I'd say 5,007. And there's quite a bit of vibration through the bars. It's not an uncomfortable vibration, but it is there. In fact, it's through the whole bike. Again, it's a single, what to expect. Steering is very sharp and precise, which is great. The bike was really light to handle. Something I found with the 450 Himalayan was it's very heavy to get off the side stand and manoeuvre around. This one's not. It's around 180 kilos, but doesn't feel it. Now, sat at 60, it's comfortable at 60, 5,000 RPM. As I say, for my cup of tea, it's quite high revving, 4,000 RPM, well, 38 miles an hour, 4th gear. To me, it's a little bit high. That's just my opinion. But when you pull away, you do need to give it a little bit of throttle. Just like its brother, I suppose, the Himalayan. Which is one of the issues I had with the Himalayan. It lacks the chug that you'd want on, or you'd expect from a bike like this. You would have thought a tickle of throttle and she'd pull quite nicely, but no. Need a little bit of rev to get it to move from a standstill. Brakes are absolutely lovely on this bike. They're sharp in the sense that they will stop you very quickly, but they're not aggressive. There's a lot of feel in the levers and the foot peg. Not intimidating in any shape or form for a newer rider or an experienced rider. Have fun on this, I think. I think it would make a great little commuter as well. I'm sure you could do longer distances. Not sure how well it would cope on a long ride, like a touring trip. Although, my little Himalayan did it, and that's only 24.5 horses. This is nearer 40. So yeah, you should be able to go touring on this bike, within reason. Plenty of room for a pillion. There's nice grab rails on it too. Now for this sort of thing, it's ideal. this is actually my route to and from work. So I know the road quite well, which helps. Yeah, this thing handles really nice. Although the suspension is stiff, it's not uncomfortable in any shape or form. You know, there's no adjustment on the front forks as far as I can tell. Rear looks like preload only. Having said that, it's handling really well. This is not the most comfortable of roads. Quite a few bumps, but it's soaking up the bumps nicely. It's not crashy or anything. It's not, I say, it's not uncomfortable, which is good. And being as you're sort of sat upright and wide bars, it makes it very easy to throw around. Something I love about bikes like this, it's kind of like riding a supermoto. You're sat upright, you're sat on the bike, you're quite close to the bars, and they're reasonable width, so you've got a lot of throwability about them, like chuckability like this. You can change direction really quickly and easily, and lightly. At no point does this bike feel at all intimidating. It's really nice to ride actually. This tank is nice. Nice and wide to tuck your knees behind. It's not splaying your legs out wide or anything. It really is comfortable. I don't know if you could see there where my feet were. My feet are basically in line with my hips. Let's think now, where am I going? Let's go down here. I need to go down to my favourite spot to do a walk around. Or go somewhere else. Alrighty folks, let's do the walk around. What have we got? We have a 452cc single cylinder double overhead cam liquid cooled engine with a 6-speed gearbox. It produces, I think it's 39.4 brake horsepower at something like 8,000 RPM. It has 39.9 Newton meters of torque at around 5,500 RPM, but they do say that 85% of the power is usable from 3,000 RPM. Pretty impressive. Not a bad little motor, revvy for my taste, but that's my personal taste. Okay, as you can see, nice long bench seat. Plenty of room. I'll swing on the back a minute just to show you. It is quite wide at the front, but it is very comfortable, and obviously there's plenty of room for a pillion. So going from front to back. Front suspension, shower forks, right way up, non-adjustable. Rear suspension, monoshock preload adjustment only. Your wheels are both 17-inch wheels. You've got a 120/70/17 front tyre and a 160/60/17 rear, so your choice of tyres is massive. You don't have to stick with these semi-knobby looking things that are on there now. They're Seat tyres, which I've had no issues with. I think they're fine, but you've got plenty of option for your tyres, which is great. Front brake is a 310mm disc with a 2-pot caliper by Bybury, a subsidiary or part of Brembo I believe, and your rear is a 270mm disc with a single pot caliper. Exhaust system, usual, looks quite impressive, big cat underneath the swing arm, but it would appear that sort of clamped down by there you could replace the rear silencer and do away with the cat, but be careful because of the warranty. Oh yeah, fuel tank is 11 litres, so you should get a good distance on it. I don't know what the MPG is on this or the range, but it should be pretty good. All lights are LED, and you'll notice There's no tail light. Nope, the brake light and rear light is incorporated in the indicators. Not a fan of that idea myself, but it does look rather nice. At the top we've been through all the switchgear and stuff, and your dashboard is a TFT clock with connectivity. So if you download the app from Royal Enfield on your phone, you can connect your phone to the TFT, you can play music, you can have a sat nav, all sorts. Go on their website and check that out. You'll also notice, if I can get it up, there we go, USB charger point. All this I believe is standard. Not bad at all, eh? And what's this little beauty going to cost you? According to what I found on the internet, and I'm assuming it's the on the road price, but please do consult your local dealers, prices go from £4,850 to £5,050, depending on spec or model, colour, I believe. So, you know, £5 you've got a really nice bike. It's easy to commute, very nice to ride, very comfortable. You could do touring to a degree on it. There's no reason why you couldn't. You can carry a pillion. You have a fun day out, and it does handle really nicely and it's comfortable. What more do you want for 5k? It even comes with a centre stand, and the bike's not too difficult to put on a centre stand. You'll also notice there's a rear hugger and a fender extender and radiator grille. I'm presuming all this is standard equipment. I don't actually know. Again, please do check with your local dealer. My local dealer is M&P's in Cardiff, so if you want to pop down there, you can arrange to test ride this particular bike. This is their demo bike. Try it out for yourself. I do recommend you try it for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. As I say every time, all my reviews are based on effectively a test ride, same as you get. I ride the bike and give my personal opinions on what I think of the bike. Good, bad or indifferent. I do have to state, for the sake of full disclosure, that Mrs. Grumps does work for M&P's the company, but she has no effect or bearing on what I say about the bikes. The agreement has always been that I will say what I think of the bike regardless, and it is only my opinion. Obviously everybody differs, so please do get yourself down to M&P's, book a test ride, see what you think, and if you like it, go speak to Stefan the salesman. I'm sure he'll sort you out. Right, I think I better head back to the shop now, do a sum up on the bike, and go and check on my Interceptor, which is why I went down there this morning originally. Drop off the Interceptor, because the steering air bearings I think have come loose and the one mirrors needs replacing. There we go. Right, just before I go, I've got to say a massive thank you to M&P's of Cardiff for allowing me to take the bikes out and review them. Really do appreciate it. Right, let's get back on the road. I'll speak to you in a bit. Toodles! Okay, let's sum up this bike. What do I think of it? What do I think of the Royal Enfield 450 Guerrilla? Nice bike. Very easy to ride. Handles quite nicely. Comfortable. It's got, even for a small bike with a small engine, it's got a fair bit of pickup. It pulls really well, to be fair. It will make a great all-round bike within the parameters of its abilities, as in touring wise. Remember, it's only a small engine. Now you do get vibration being a big single, which is no surprise, but it's not uncomfortable nor obtrusive vibration, and I personally think the engine is a bit too revvy. Now I'm currently on 31 miles an hour, just over 3,000 RPM in fourth. I would rather be in third at this sort of speed and revs. My personal choice. Nothing wrong with the bike. It does, however, mean when you do pull the throttle back, it pulls rather well. Having said that, mind, when I was crawling down a country lane, I was literally just letting it run on idle going downhill, and it was fine, no problem at all. But as I say, my personal opinion, I'm not a fan of the higher revving engine that's on this bike. Brakes, brilliant. More than powerful enough for this bike, the weight and size and power. They're not snatchy, they're good feedback, very easy to use. Everything's very intuitive, switch gears all nice and clear once you get used to all the gubbins. Let's say you've got the connectivity for the TFT to connect your phone, and all this for a package around 5k. You can't go wrong. Seriously, you can't go wrong. Insurance has got to be fairly cheap on this thing. I think it would be great as a first bigger bike for inexperienced riders who want a roadster, because that's what it's classed as, a roadster. I think it'd be great for somebody who wants it as maybe a second bike for commuting and running around on. Or if you just want something not too big, not too powerful to run around on, you know what I mean. It's ideal. It does everything you could want it to do, realistically. But obviously you've got to allow for the fact it's only 40 brake horsepower and it's a big single. So it's not immensely quick or anything. It's not super fast. But it does exactly what it should do. Right, let's have a look at this. Let's try eco mode. See if it makes any difference. I couldn't tell any difference on the Himalayan. I'll try on this one. Oh yeah, there's definite difference. There's a definite lack of oomph in eco mode. Throttle response is a lot smoother, to be fair, but it's got absolutely no oomph at all in eco mode. It almost feels like you've got half the power. Right, we won't be having that. Let's get back into performance, thank you. It feels like your power is very restricted. So I suppose if you're an inexperienced rider and you're a bit nervous about taking the bike out, being your first sort of big bike, stick it in eco mode. It's not going to intimidate you in any shape or form. Once you get used to it, you whack it back into performance. Yeah, really nice bike, easy to ride, handles exceptionally well. Massive choice of tyres if you want to change them or when you need to change them. Being a Royal Enfield, parts are not expensive. I own two of them. I'm a bit of a Royal Enfield fan, so I do know. Insurance should be quite reasonable. Running costs are not a lot. The only thing I will say with Royal Enfield is their servicing schedules do tend to be quite short. Well, the older engines do. I'm not sure about this new one. Please do check. I think it's about 6,000 miles now, which is more normal. But do check the servicing intervals for yourself. Right folks, that's it. I don't think I can babble on anymore without driving you all loopy. I'm going to head back to the shop and see what's happening with my bike, see what's happening with Elvis, and return this rather nice little runabout. Okay folks, whatever you're doing, please be safe, ride safe and have fun. And of course, the statutory, keep Mrs. Grumps happy. Toodles! Oh, I quite like this. Forgot. The most important question of the lot. Would I own one? Yes, I would. If I was in the market for a small capacity roadster, commuter, call it what you will, or possibly replace my Himalayan, yes, I would consider one of these. It would be on my list. Would I prefer to have the 400 Triumph or something? Quite honestly, no. The 400 Triumph doesn't really do it for me, and I am a bit of an Enfield fan. So there we go. Yes, I would own one. If you want to give me one for free, I'll take it. Right. Toodles!